Welcome. I'm Janita Stanton. We have Reginald Perryman and Shaka Williams. We are Tasari. This is There's Something About Real Estate podcast where we talk all things real estate. What's up? What up, though?
We made it.
Yeah.
All right.
Where we make it from?
We made it. Have we recorded this?
Yeah, once.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So what's been going on? What's new?
Oh, everything.
Look, I wanted to ask y'all. So this should be a topic. I think I want Dean to sit in on it. But I have a question.
All
Have
right.
you guys been seeing in the I'm sorry, we got to introduce Joe. But I'm going to introduce Joe first, and then I want to ask everybody this
All
question. Today we have with us Joseph Rutledge of Appraiser Realty LLC.
Yes.
Soon to be Know Your Value.
Yes.
Can I put that out there?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yes, you can. I own the name, so yeah.
All right. So we have an appraiser in the house with us today. Finally, this is the second time though, right?
Mhm.
All right, we'll get some different questions, but I got this question:
All right.
crypto houses,
Mm.
like buying property, like how they are like crypto. So like
Buying and
a bunch of
using
it. Like
crypto?
if we all not like the way we buy it, we all buy little bitty
Shares,
shares
yeah.
of one property
dangerous.
or one.
It's dangerous. It's like crowdfunding.
Yeah. I don't even like that many partners on the flip.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
you mean I'm gonna let everybody put in 3 cents a piece?
And then they talk, and this is like cash flow, like buying holds.
Hey,
You could just go invest in the real estate sector or the stock market.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get a real estate investment trust.
Mhm. So I need everybody to do a little bit of due diligence on this because I want to talk about it.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Joe,
Mm-hmm.
tell us a little bit about you and your company and how you got started.
So, I'm a real estate appraiser, certified residential. Real estate appraising came to me 3 times before I accepted to go do it. Literally, it was back in the early 2000s. Okay, and I finally said yes in 2005. And I went to school at Middleton Real Estate Training. I'm in September, it'll be 20 years veteran. I've seen a lot in the years. It turned me also into an investor. Okay. Why I got into it, I'm a former engineer, so numbers don't scare me. Analytical thinking doesn't scare me. And so the cusp of being an appraiser, you take all those skills. You have to be computer literate. You have to be able to write. You have to be able to discern information, disseminate information,
Right.
and you have to be able to regurgitate it back to underwriters so they can understand it. And you also have to look at numbers. You have to not be scared of numbers. So that's how I got started. In 2005, I was a limited when Kwame Kilpatrick was first starting to run us, his first time as mayor. And I've been in it ever since, and I actually enjoy it. I actually still enjoy it.
Yeah, seems like it.
Everything I heard him say about being an appraiser, I didn't hear him say one thing about emotions.
Right.
It's just, it is what it is. The numbers are the
Mhm.
numbers.
Yeah.
That's
Supposed
true.
to be.
Yeah.
Right.
And you can't. The only people who are emotional
Yeah.
are the agents, the realtors, and the home sellers.
Right.
Buyers can be too.
Yeah.
We use a term. I use a term called zealous. They'll be overzealous in the contract price and things like that. But
Right.
I'll give you an example. There's a time where I was doing an appraisal in Beverly Hills. It was a $700,000 contract, and I wrote the appraisal, and I didn't see $700,000.
Right.
So most appraisers would just turn the report in. So I said, I'm gonna let this sit tonight and go home and think about it, right? And I think about it like this: these smart people didn't get together and come up with a number that's just wrong.
Right.
So I have to change my perspective and
Right.
look at it differently. And so when I did that and broadened my scope, boom, it was there, no problem.
Right.
You know.
When you say broaden your scope, you meant look further out or
Yeah,
look
yeah.
for more comps?
So this was a site condo.
Okay.
Okay. So you have to go site condo to site condo
Mm.
because of the ownership rights, right?
Right.
So I just broadened my parameters.
Okay.
Went further out in distance, and similar area, and I found it.
Which
Okay.
you're allowed to do as an appraiser. Why
Right.
they don't do it is the crazy part, right? They try to act like they're confined to these.
They're not. They're
really-
the term guideline is
Mhm.
just that. It's not a rule.
Right.
And a lot of appraisers take it as a rule. And if you're coming from, let's talk about Detroit, you're coming from outside the city, you don't know the layout.
Right.
So I know I can cross 7 Mile at 7 Mile in Greenfield and go, north, south, east, or west, and that is similar homes because the freeway cut through there, the lodge down by, by James
Schaefer.
Cousin, by Schaefer. But yet all those neighborhoods are similarly the same.
Right.
It's just that freeway cut through there, right? And then you go further further west, it's 7 Mile and Evergreen and so on and so forth. It does change a little, but you can clearly see when it changes so dramatically that, nope, I can't go over there. Because they got rid of a term we can't use anymore called appeal. They found that, America's so whitewashed now, you can't say this, you can't say that. So we can't use that word appeal anymore. But appeal is the real thing, where you got a restaurant you like, they appeal to you, right?
Right.
Same thing with a neighborhood. It appeals to you for whatever reason, right?
Right.
So now, if you don't dip into a neighborhood that the appeal changes, then you should be okay.
That's crazy though, because how the hell do you gauge appeal?
The market. Don't
Yeah,
you
it
think the
speaks.
market
It's
tells?
numbers.
Yeah.
It's back to numbers.
So that's what we be talking a lot about, Bagley versus UD versus Sherwood.
Right.
Yes and no. I grew up in University District. So way back then, it was a thing that they didn't think you were okay living across west of Livernois, okay? Because our houses were bigger and all this sort of stuff, right? There was still some blight over there. Like today, there's still some blight over there. But, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? It's the buyers that decide that, right?
Right.
But so they did away with that word appeal. So in place of it, I put the word marketability.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Hold on. So where's the area that we always argue about? Me and Reggie was talking about this because I'm not from Detroit.
We always argue.
Right, but no, this was a specific. Oh no, this was this?
We were talking about North Rosedale, all the Rosedale and Grandma areas.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we also talked about Bagley and Fitzgerald. Yeah. Because your perception is different. My perception comes from actually growing up there. And like you said, the appeal, which they're not using anymore. I just know people that would prefer to live in one area
versus the
over the other, even though it's 2 blocks away.
Even though
they're willing to pay $30,000 more.
But that's normally people that's from there. And the people that's coming here from other places, they don't care.
Yeah.
But that's where you don't, and that's where you're generic. I can't share their sentiment. Someone moving here, they need a house, and they got to move quick, so they're motivated buyers, so they might pay more. You know what I mean? And so you have to equate that. You have to put that in that equation as an appraiser. And then someone selling the house because somebody died, and this, that, the other, and all these other dynamics. The market speaks. It's just listen to it.
Right.
So
hold on. Can I respond to that real fast?
Yeah.
Because okay, how will we know if somebody just maybe they didn't make a fast decision? Maybe that's the house they wanted and they were going to pay what that seller was trying to sell it for. There was nothing quick there. It appealed to them. May not appeal to Reggie because he from there and he know what it used to be. But these people have a broader vision. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, bruh, this is the same to me.
Right.
So I don't care about like Curtis, like in you and Bagley,
right,
south of Curtis versus north of Curtis or whatever. You know what I mean?
But but that person might be the minority of buyers.
True.
So it may only be 1 or 2 of those versus the other 12.
And sometimes even when you're driving over there, even now, in the legal descriptions that are right in Bagley, like what you got, like your Canterbury subs versus another legal description, you can tell like it's still a difference. Like what you're saying, like north or south of 7 Mile, or 6 Mile, So, like you can see a neighborhood shift. Now it is starting to.
It's worth 2 units south of Curtis.
Yeah, so like what I'm saying is, like you'll notice houses on like Woodingham, closer to 7 Mile, like 18-9 block, typically do better than a house on Woodingham off of like 6 Mile.
So 19,000 block of the 19,000 block, closer to 7 Mile.
Yeah.
Last year, maybe not even a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, was getting higher numbers than the 18,000 block.
No, the 19,000 block wasn't. Actually, we were having a little bit harder time. So like some of my listings, I had one on San Juan in the 19,000 block. That was that it was a bigger house than some of the ones that I sold in the 18,000 block, and the appraisal, it didn't come in because those houses, the values weren't up yet.
I don't want to disagree with her or argue with it, but that was a less hurt. The workmanship of that house to me.
Yeah, and I was going to say that.
You know what I mean?
Is that you know, appraising is not an exact science. And so everyone wants to nail it to the wall and say, you know, my house should do this. It's very it can have bias in it.
Yeah.
Right.
We already know that.
It's very opinionated.
It's very opinionated.
Yeah.
The legal definition of appraisal is
Opinion of price.
yeah. No, it's the what's the opinion of value?
Oh.
No. What is it? It's the legal definition is your opinion. I can't remember. It's escaping me now, but it really is your opinion.
Right.
Right.
But remember that opinion is based on facts.
Right.
How do you draw an opinion? It comes from facts. So whenever I appraise something, I have to look at the body of my peers, but they do the same. You
Yeah,
get
like
it?
talk about like from like a national standpoint, the process, you know, I know appraisal process is pretty lengthy, but
Sure.
you know, maybe kind of like shortening, like, you know,
The bullet points.
The bullet points.
Okay. So I go into every appraisal very, very generic. I go to prove you're right. Then I go to prove you're wrong. And one of the two is going to win. And Chase, you know, in my career, you know, I did business with a lot of banks.
Right.
So some banks are very knowledgeable. Chase carries more information than more people know about.
Right.
Okay. So Chase grew me up. I like to say that. Because when we send reports in, the underwriters will read it and they'll shoot it back at us and say, hey, what about this? What about that? What about this? So remember, y'all think we got all the pull?
Mm-hmm.
The U.S. the gold makes all the rules. So a lot of people be mad at the appraiser. You don't even know on the back end, it's the underwriter pushing.
Right.
You know?
But a lot of times the lender will come back and say, well, you know, we had to go back into an appraisal review, you know, by request of the underwriter.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean,
So
I think in them cases we're not so livid at the appraiser.
Well, how do I say this the best way without sounding like I think I'm the best? You have to explain yourself, why your reasoning. And I think people are lazy. Appraisers are lazy. You know, please take what I'm going to say the right way. I can write 3 or 4 paragraphs and be done. You look at some appraisers, it's 4, 5, 6 pages. They ain't said nothing.
Right.
You get it? All they're doing is regurgitating facts in terms of how big the house is and the foot traffic of the neighborhood. Just numbers that are irrelevant to why you come up with this recollection of reconciliation is called of the value. And I you know, it's real funny. And this is a quick story. I'm dealing with this AMC. On the other side of the AMC.
What's AMC?
AMC is an appraisal management company. They are sit in the middle between lenders and appraisers. Okay, lenders will go to them to farm out the appraisal. Okay, so a young lady I knew over there, I won't mention her name. She was reviewing reports, right? And so off camera, you know, just in somebody's office in Birmingham, I saw her, and she said, "You know, Joe, I was at this one company. I always read your reports. You didn't know this." She said, "You're very succinct and right to the point."
Right.
And because this is not a dissertation I got to write. It's very simple. The numbers speak.
Right.
So to go back to your question, 3-bedroom bungalow in Detroit, in the middle of the best neighborhood ever. Let's just use that, right? Let's use a round number. It's $100,000, okay? Contract price, right? I should be able to see the average in that neighborhood is at least $100,000. If not, tell me why this is $100,000. Is it made up and dressed up nice? And I heard you in one podcast weeks and weeks ago say something about over-improved.
Right.
Okay. There is a point, and we would call that super adequacy is another word, but over-improvement is accepted, where we do too much.
Yeah.
But remember, I hope I'm covering a lot of bases. The over improvement comes from wanting to push the market. So where real value comes in is when you got reaching the buyers to reach in their pocket or go to their 401k. That's where real value is.
You're saying pay above the appraised
above
value.
the appraised value.
Gotcha.
Okay. And so that generates real value because you went in your 401 and you went in your piggy bank or under your mattress and you said the appraiser came back at 89 and this house is $100,000. Okay.
Right.
But your $100,000 house has new tile, backsplash, its cabinets is nice, it's custom, it's sweet. So is it really over improved or is it now the new mark in the neighborhood?
Yeah.
So that means that buyer needs to go get that money to get that house.
Right. That the new
To make that the new
I
cap,
remember.
right.
So I feel like new construction doesn't have such a hard time getting that, like getting either borrowers to come in and spend that extra money. Now I get it, sometimes we're rehabbing 100-year-old houses and the bones are not as nice as new, but
they're better though. But
yeah. So that's kind of like a lot of times in like builders contracts, I'll see like the house doesn't have to appraise and people sign off on those all day. But if we were to put that in our contract, the house doesn't have to appraise. I'm not sure how, you know what I mean?
Well, you remember, so it's a very broad scope you're going. Now pick on Macomb County and their building, right? They got this thing, build it and they shall come, right? New homes, I always say it like this, value is intrinsic, okay? You needed that shirt, right? You needed a certain size, you need a certain color. The next thing is you care about what does the rest of the world think how I look in this shirt. Right. It's the same way for a home. Is people need a certain location. What's the first rule in real estate?
Location.
The next thing is I need a certain size because I need to accommodate my family, right? The next thing people don't understand, the whole world is vain, the Bible says, right? Now I need to know what you think about me living in this house. And so that's where people will go buy a new house versus an old one because it's new. Right. Okay. It doesn't say it's always better. And I think you've ran into that too, where you sold new houses, and there were problems, you know, and I've seen it too, where there were water issues. There were the builder people think it's a new house, the builder is infallible. Right. That's not true. You can say that, right?
Sometimes it's just a bad area. That's why they say wait before you finish your basement. Right. But yeah. So,
did I answer your question?
Maybe.
Okay. Right. I want to ask Joe about. So we went into my question because I got two questions, which I'll let y'all get in. But so right now in the market, I'm seeing in the Bagley area like what am I calling it?
Steep decline.
I'm seeing a decline in market.
Yeah, recession. I won't use that word in terms of the economy, but
decline
in that particular space.
So
I would say it's declining.
It's a pendulum.
I would say this, and he always says it. That's why I'm picking on Reggie. We're gonna talk about over improvement, and I got this concept: build and they shall come. I think what's happening is we got a guy in the White House that's making everybody nervous, and every night we wake up to see what did he tweet last night. And what changes he making, and people are nervous. The number one thing you look at when it comes to the market is consumer confidence. It's the first thing you go see. How do you feel about taking on this debt? You know, and like, let's just be frank. They firing all these government people. This is before, he was voting in November. So I bet you saw in October, November, it kind of started to go, because you don't know where this train is going. I think that's where it is more than anything else. Is it's a self-induced wound, okay? And whether you left or right or in the middle, it hurts the economy to have the type of president we have.
I could agree with some of that, but I seen something else. I'm seeing people.
I'm seeing a lot of sellers. The sellers I'm dealing with, their pricing, their price point, they're still putting the ball ahead, right? So like the average price point 300,000. 2 years ago, they could list it at 310 and still get it. We still have sellers with a mindset that's 2 and 3 years old, and they're coming to the market because they've been hearing this for the past 3 years. And now at 310, they're reducing the price to 300.
But what do they give them for 310? You know, and
Right.
she can attest to this, and maybe he can too. I pushed the market in some areas, right?
I was gonna bring that up.
Right. But I give it to him.
Yeah. But most
You
of
gotta
these
give it to
sellers
'em.
aren't. And then they have to do a price reduction, which goes back to what you're saying. You're seeing prices coming down, but they already started out too high.
Well, the reason what I'm seeing is a little bit different than what both of y'all. But what y'all saying is true
Yeah,
too.
just trying to get the prices that was selling.
Yeah,
Right.
People are investors. So in these areas, it was a lot of investors who were new investors or who maybe didn't know how to invest.
Right.
And then we were going into the winter. You know, the winter is a slower season.
Always.
Right?
Always.
So then they get to panicking. They were used to their house selling so fast, and now you're in the winter months alone with all the things that y'all are both describing, and now they sit on the market for 60 days. Now they panic,
Yeah.
and now the buyer come over there and say give a crazy offer, and they're like, man, we got to just get out of it, and they take it, not realizing they killing the whole market over there.
The hard money loan do.
Yeah.
And so
Right.
the unique thing about me is I'm an investor too. And, you know, I just believe build it and they will come. You don't have to do all these extraordinary things. One of the things I do is I put outlets in that have a USB plug in it. I put wine coolers in places. You have to sit back and think like, what do I want in this house if I was living here? So this extra $5,000 investment, let's just use that number. Give people something other than gray tile, you understand, and quartz.
Right.
Give them something that a projector in the wall. See, you got to remember what people shoot for is always appraised value, but Reggie, they're skipping the appeal.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a nice roof. That's gonna be
I
automatic.
got a hell of an argument with that.
Why? Go ahead. I know you think do less.
No, I don't always think do less, but why am I doing? I understand the appeal of that, right? I understand for the appeal.
Yeah.
But people want to buy this area anyway, and that appeal, nobody's going in their 401k and paying above asking price for that anymore. So why am I spending my additional $5,000? Even if I'm not even gonna get the $5,000 back.
I guarantee you, not from an appraisal standpoint. So let's leave that out of it. Give them something they can't see nowhere else,
Right.
and they're gonna give it to you.
But
you know why? Let me tell you why. And I'll go back to this because please don't tie it into appraisal value. Tie it into amenities.
Appeal.
People want amenities.
Right.
And yes, you're gonna have quartz countertops. You're gonna have beautiful cabinets. But find little bitty small things, a fan that's got the remote control, just something. And you know, build it and they will come. I did a flip where I finally got finished, the one in Southfield with a swimming pool, right? I put it on the market, nobody touched it because I didn't want I didn't want to finish the pool.
Right.
Okay. But I put it on a price point I knew it was fair. The average person didn't think, you know, they didn't know about pools.
Right.
I said, okay. Took it back, put 25 grand into the pool, sold it for 35 more because I knew.
Right.
And so my wife said, Joe, you should have did it in the first place. You was half stepping. I said, you know what? She was right. Right. But it's just me and my numbers work. And you know, I'm unfairly leveraged because I know the bank's rules.
Right, yeah.
But I give them so many little bells and whistles. What investors are doing now is that they see that high watermark and they just think I can throw anything out there.
Right.
That's right.
No, I go in houses. You know what they make us do, Reggie? Is this is something, a house on Seminar. I'll never forget it. Can't mention the bank or nothing. I couldn't pay attention to the quality of the tile.
Wow.
I couldn't pay attention to the craftsmanship.
Right.
The bank literally told me.
You couldn't?
Right.
Yeah, I couldn't. And I go
in East English? I mean, Indian
West
Village?
Village.
West Village. Yeah.
I was like, the tile's horrible.
Right.
Yeah.
It's crooked in the grout line. They said, no, we just care it's tile on the wall.
Right.
And I go, okay, then it appraises. But you going in, taking your buyer, and you going in, and everybody going in, you see this mess. You know what I mean? They don't. The investor just think, oh, it's sweet as I don't know what. No, dude. No,
Right.
no. I mean, I hate to keep using me, but I know a lot of investors out here, right? I see grade A work.
Right.
I see grade C. Same neighborhoods, you know. I gotta be honest. I just did one over off of 7 and Telegraph. I was like, Jesus Christ!
Oh yeah,
this young lady's buying this house.
Horrible.
It's horrible.
But y'all talking about two different things, though. Y'all, so the appraisal. So we talking about this could be nice work. It don't matter if it's nice work. It's not appraising anymore because the market is.
I got an example. I just put it. So I just did while we were sitting here. Sold in 120 days, quarter of a mile of an address in Bagley.
Sure.
Mine is the last high sale at $238. I listed it at $259.9, and I listed it at $259.9 because I sold
another house,
few others. It was similar square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms.
Workmanship.
And the quality of workmanship over here was really good. You know, they had, maybe 2 or 3 things that I could be like, man, why didn't y'all do that?
Yeah.
But overall, drywall, trim, doors,
it was good.
kitchen. Excellent. It was, excellent work. And they got their price. The buyer paid. But the appraiser shot it down.
A lot.
By a lot.
I'm talking about when they took it down to what we sold 3 bedrooms for over there. This was a 4-bedroom. That was a 4-bedroom.
Yeah, it was 4 bedrooms.
Give me a percentage. How far did they miss?
We got $260 for it, and it sold at $238.
Wow.
So they had $260 off.
What was their argument?
I'll have to shoot you the appraisal.
Opinion of value. Opinion of value. That's the legal definition of
it was
appraisal.
crazy.
Opinion of value.
So that's what made. So when I saw that, I'm like, "There's no way."
Right?
So that's what happened. We actually no, there was no push.
So did you do ROV?
Hold on. Wait a minute. During the listing, there was no push. But when we got the appraisal back, we did go back and check.
We looked,
and we was like,
yeah.
So to Shaka's point, we had fallen,
right?
And we couldn't get up.
Like for real, no. So this wasn't our flip. This was somebody else's flip.
Yeah.
But they did an excellent job on that flip. I was like, there's no way in the world. But we have a lot of houses over there, so I'm counting on their house to sell. This a 4-bedroom, 2 full bathrooms. Knew everything.
Yeah.
Now they did skimp on little stuff, but it wouldn't have mattered. That's my point I'm making. They skimped on
because they got their price. Yeah, the buyer paid. Well, one was willing to.
I'm talking about the appraisal.
Yeah.
So even if they would have went and done the other few items that I'm talking about, like paint the basement, little stupid stuff that doesn't matter in an appraisal. You know what I mean? It wouldn't have given them any real value. So, and when the appeal was all there.
Right.
This was a nice rehab. And so that brings me to my question. I want to know, and you don't have to answer this, but I want to know, are you seeing any type of, I feel like it's like purposely done.
Yes,
like by the banks.
You
know what I mean?
Yes.
Like
So that part.
We can get in there and be real honest about it. And you guys should track this. Like, what banks you have the most trouble with?
Oh yeah.
So when you go to accept an offer,
yeah,
you should be able to say, I ain't messing with that bank. And listen, it's not the buyer you're concerned about. Right. It's the bank.
Yeah.
You might go to the buyer and say, hey, we're willing to deal with you, but you got to change lenders. Because we're not having that. And you have every right to say that. Yeah. They call it steering, but you can say, hey, we got a problem with this lender, however you do it copacetically. But yeah, it's some lenders. I'll be frank, I don't care if this is aired. I don't do Flagstar work.
Wow.
I don't do Flagstar's work.
Right.
I don't. And I don't do Quicken Loans work. I don't do UWM's work.
Sheesh.
Listen, you may think they're high value, and they are. It ain't worth their time. It ain't worth my time. It ain't worth. Well, it was years ago. 80% of appraisers was on the Flagstar Do Not Use list.
Wow.
And I would go into Middleton and sit down and do the training, the Con Ed.
Right.
And then Lori would ask, hey, who's on the do not use list? And almost the whole class put their hand up.
Mm.
Now, there were things in there I'm not going to mention how it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I took it upon myself and wrote the CEO a letter. I said, it says more about y'all than it says about us.
Right.
Because how does all these appraisers incompetent?
Right.
So as a person who has the ability to pick the buyer, the bank is a big issue in it too.
Yeah.
You know, and you gotta like put a pattern on it and say and keep track. Like this bank give us an issue, this bank don't. There are some banks that are privy to Detroit. You know, they okay. They want to see the revitalization.
Right.
You know,
Name them.
I would say First Merchants Bank is a little bit that way. They're starting to build in the city. If you haven't seen them.
Yeah.
Loan Depot is someone that is prevalent. There's so many. I'm only going to give you the big box names because the other ones, you know, are brokered and all that, right?
Right.
You know, it's some people have, some lenders have a niche market. It's just a business, right? When I was with Chase, I was mainly doing high-end homes. You know, and Reggie, that's the thing where you talk about craftsmanship, workmanship.
Right.
And you see shocking some of the work I do. I'm seeing the best of the best. You seeing the stuff mitered and sweet out in Birmingham and Bloomfield. You be like, why can't we get this over here?
Right.
They don't want to pay for
that's what
it.
I want.
You got to pay for that.
But I got like 3 more questions.
Go ahead. Just
So,
get them out anyway if they recorded or whatever.
Well, I wanted to know like which renovations do you feel like impact the value the most?
All right, so let's talk about that. A house is not a home like Luther says, right? Beyond the roof, gutters, windows, electrical, plumbing, let's make it a house first, okay? What people are doing is going inside, making it beautiful, but the roof is tattered and the gutters are old. And that affects, you know, people don't even do the landscaping. Right. So my mantra has always been make it a home first. I don't even have a budget for the whole rehab to the roof, everything I needed to address, HVAC, electrical, all that stuff. Once that's addressed, now I got a budget for how I can beautify this house. Guess what? You move in, you buy my house. If that light don't work, you're going to be mad.
Right.
That home inspection going to fail. I need everything to work. And then we go. So to answer your questions, they have this thing, it's called they did it years ago. It's called a uniform appraisal data set. All appraisers used to say, sweet, nice, cool. We used our own terminology. So they got standardized. And they says, okay, C1 means it's brand new. Nobody's even sat on that toilet. Okay. C2 is, you know, pretty much everything has been changed over and made new. C3 is, it's sweet. It can use a few more updates, but we're not tripping. C4 is, yeah, it's dated, you know, but don't make it a terrible house. C5, C6, knock it down. Okay.
Right.
So when we give it that, I give you a C3 to be. A C3 is you made the kitchen nice. Okay. Bedrooms and paint and carpet. What can you do in there, right? The next thing is the bathroom. Is it the old town from the 50s, but it look good? That's okay. You get it? You reglaze the tub, you put a new toilet in, maybe a floor. It's C3. C2 is every one of those things has been touched and is new. Okay.
Right.
Almost like a new house. You can't change the exterior, right? So to answer your question, some of the things that get the most money, we know the kitchen. Kitchen is the most expensive room in the house if you do it right, right? And then I would say the bath. You go there to the bath. And then all the other little intricate things. The wood flooring, is it sanded and stained right? You know, is your trim work and stuff. It is presentation, you know? I was sitting one time, I was on the radio, I was sitting out in front of a house, and I called the station, they were talking about real estate. And the guy was like, you know, what? He's saying similar. I said, similar to your question. The guy says, what gives it value? I said, well, let me tell you something. I'm outside. I was in Bloomfield Hills. I said, looking at this house, it's beautiful. The lawn is manicured. The flower bed is great. You know what that does to me as a appraiser? I go, this boy's sweet.
Yeah.
My attitude is already up here. You get it? And so that's, I'll say this as selling agents and stuff. When spring is coming, make the outside look good.
Right.
You know, tell people put it's called Milorganite. On the grass, it's going to turn green.
Right.
I don't care what grass you got, okay? Right. But to answer your question, you know, you got to balance it. Like, you want a good roof. I'm not saying gotta be brand new. You want good gutters, right? You want it to be a house. You want the drainage to be sweet. We look at all that, and we look at, is the furnace old? Does it look old? You know what I mean?
Right.
You can't. I'm a little bit sometimes not too hard as I could be, but I can't always give the value to this house. If this house had brand new furnace, brand new hot water tank, brand new this, they got alarm system, they got glass block windows. They went all out. And you got investors, like you said, coming in, they're gonna do 60% of the work and try to get that due. That's the issue. But to answer your question, the roofs help because the longevity, right? That's why FHA would see how long is that roof. Water tanks because they last. Furnaces, okay, and then the kitchen, and some good workmanship that the kitchen will work. You go in and you flip the water on, and it actually comes out in some stream. Windows, yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Windows one of the largest investments into a house.
Finish the bungalow.
Can I say one more thing? So it's a dollar for dollar thing. So think about this. If I put $1 in the windows, okay, what is it returning me? It's not the same as putting $1 in the bedroom. That's only going to give me a little bit back, but that dollar in the window is going to give me a lot back.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
That was good.
Okay.
Finish the bungalow or not? The unfinished attic, finish it or?
Yes. It's a 3-bedroom there.
What if it's now a 5-bedroom?
Not the new
ANSI or
rules.
Or a 4-bedroom.
Yeah, with them.
Well, I'll say it this way. Remember, okay, so you're asking 2 questions, right? What do I think about it as an appraiser, but what does your market need? Right. So you got to kind of hit that right in the middle, right? Who needs a 5-bedroom house?
Not that many. Well, a lot of people now.
Right.
In Detroit, that 5th bedroom becomes a loft.
5th or 4th? 5th or 4th?
A 5th.
Okay. I don't do many 5-bedroom homes, 5-bedroom homes. Seriously.
That's a small amount of
it's
people.
Called over improvement. It's called over improvement.
Okay. So if it's a 4, then
it
you say...
It depends where you at.
Then you say leave it alone. Now what if it's a 3?
And it could be a 4th up there.
And it could be a 4th.
That's a selling feature. That's what a team.
No, it's definitely a selling feature, but for the appraiser, how much? I mean,
okay, so that works like this. What is the propensity of the homes in the neighborhood? Are they more 3s than 4s? And I'm not giving you an adjustment because you got 4, because many of them they mainly 3.
Yeah, I think in these areas, in Detroit, West Side, the area I'm talking about in particular, it's a mix. 3 to 4, and the 4s have a different value than the 3s.
So watch this. So we're gonna say just 1,000 square foot homes, just to play with 0 numbers, right? I got 1,000 square foot 3 bedrooms. They average 990, 1,050, right around 1,000. They 3-bedroom. Now I got a 1,200 square foot home with that 4th bedroom, right? That's different because look at all that square footage I got, okay? That gave me that 4th bedroom. Right. You get it? Comfortably, okay? Also, that extra 200 square feet maybe gave me a bath. You get it? So that's where we're not apples to apples no more, right? And lenders be like, well, you can't make that adjustment because this, that, the other. And I go, you're right. Or I try to push it and say maybe no. It's not one set rule. I tell you one thing I did once. I did an appraisal and the house was a colonial, okay, and it was bungalows all around, right? So I went deeper to get a colonial to show them the difference that you can stand up in that 2nd floor. You follow me? Versus this, what you get in the bungalow. So if the appraiser is taking the time, and I mean this directly, to prove your case, you get it? Not to go in it to disprove it. What is the definition of market value? Can you Google that, please? I want you to read it out loud when you read it. And this is the most interesting thing I always say. And to me, Reggie, you're an intellect. Okay. Because I've listened to a lot of your shows. I
told you.
And so when you read this, because I've listened to a lot of your podcasts, right? And one of the things he says is, Reggie, don't take this the wrong way. He don't think we know nothing. Okay, he think appraisers are not the greatest on earth, and I take that with a grain of salt. I like the good appraisers. I mean, who doesn't? If he hit your number, you like that boy's smart. When he don't, they don't know nothing, right?
Right.
What does it say? What's the definition?
The
of market
amount for
value?
which something can be sold on a given market.
There's another one out there that says when both buyer and seller agree and there's no duress.
Oh, it says market value is the price at which a buyer and seller agree to exchange an asset or property. It's a theoretical price that assumes a knowledgeable buyer and seller in a normal market.
Without duress. You understand?
Meaning
So after
somebody
COVID, we was going nuts. We had low interest rates.
Yep.
We had people divorcing, couldn't stand each other. They had to come home. So you see why it was doing this, right? That's not in the normal market, right? Because we had more buying power, okay? And we had more less supply.
Less homes, yep.
So then now the law of supply and demand kicked in.
Right.
So is that truly the market value of something? I would say no. Okay, because it's being driven by other outside factors.
Right.
Last question.
Yeah.
Days on the market. Do they affect the appraisal?
Not at all. Not at all to me. But you know why? And let me say this, and I don't want to jump on realtors. They don't mark them correctly anyway. So I don't care.
You don't even know what's the real true days on the market.
The reason why I asked that question, I haven't had it in a long time, but I had an issue with an appraisal where it was like it sold too quick or something. Like it didn't stay on the market for long enough.
Exposure time was low.
Yeah.
That means nothing.
That
means nothing. To me, see, you have appraisers who will nitpick just something like that. So let me explain this. And realtors can do this if they want to. So when you have a house and it hits the market, coming soon, all that, boom, hits the market. What realtors tend to do is they get a contract, a few of them, offers. Then they'll okay, I'm gonna go with this one, but I'm gonna sit back and wait until the inspection is done, the EMD is done, but you're not showing the house no more.
Right.
So that's not a fair count. And let me say this: it's to your detriment. It's actually to your detriment on a marketing point, because you want to say this boy gone.
But I update mine. So like, even though I may hold it back when I go in to market for what happened, I put it I keep those dates.
Yeah,
so
but you can't. The clock is running until you stop it. Is what I'm saying.
Until you market pending.
Until you market pending, that clock is running.
And everybody don't do the same thing. So
And
it's
the sold is the sold. So if it's sold, if it went live on June 1st and it sold July 30th, those dates are what they are.
No, because you could run into lender issues, title issues, and everything else, keep it from pending to close. What we look at is really, to be frank, I look at when did it get on the market and when did it go pending. That's really the true marketing time.
So that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is for the live date and the accepting backup or pending, I adjust those for accuracy.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Everybody don't do it. I can guarantee you, not even 20% of realtors don't do that.
No, less than that probably.
I just market ABO, and then once we pass, if we're still accepting backup offers, then I market pending.
How does that affect the DOM, the actual days on market? Because even when you go ABO, the clock's still spinning, right?
Yeah, but my ABO time period is short. It's just like we're only until the inspection. As soon as they say we're fine, then I market pending.
So you got to watch this, and I'm not picking on you.
Oh no, that's fine.
So you got a house, it hit the market on the second day. You got 3 contracts, 3 offers. You accept one late on the third day. You and your seller get together.
Right
now we're negotiating the inspection.
Right.
So now that inspection is a 7-day inspection period.
Right.
They out here on the 7th day because the inspector couldn't get there. Right. It's still days. Now, does it hurt anything? No. But what the attractive part about it is to the market.
Yeah.
Is that sucker went pending in 3 days.
Right.
So in this neighborhood, we can't be playing.
So that's what I'm saying. That's why I update mine. So like if I had any of our listings, I would, if I went, I did this with Erica's. Like it goes, my updates are for the day it happened. So even though I may have held back till Monday, if we talked and we knew that we accepted their offer and we was waiting for contracts to come back, I updated for when, like in real time.
Okay.
And it may just be me. That's fine. I'm just saying.
I think it should be. They made us be standardized. I think they need to make realtors standardized.
Yeah, the reason I started doing ABO because we were getting so many sight unseen offers, and we would have to cross reference who actually showed it, and then the buyer 3 days later they're like, "Oh, we my buyer don't like it because the windows are old. I'm like, wasn't you just there the other day?
ain't see it
So
was
we
old, so you-
started saying, okay, we're going to accept backup offers until the inspection period.
Can I add
Yep.
something that I wanted to say that is on my heart for
Yep.
real? All right, here's the one of the most egregious problems I see is 90% of FHA don't pass, and you are causing 30-day delays at minimum.
Mhm.
Okay, and let me say it this way: I'm not jumping on realtors or agents or brokers or anybody, but you guys know that information,
Yeah.
like what won't pass, and I think it's not being utilized and is prolonging your closings, or you getting deals that crumble because the
Right.
buyer, the seller ain't gonna put in this money. So switching over from the conventional to accepting FHA when all these things need to be fixed is not the great thing to do.
Right.
It is to go in at the listing meeting and make that person make their home FHA compliant
Right.
and say and market it to them like it's gonna move. You need a carbon monoxide detector, this, that, the other, the railing. Let's just do this. So now we open it up to all buyers versus now we gotta accept a FHA. You know what I mean? Yeah, and we don't want an FHA. You know what I mean? Let's be honest. No one actually does want an FHA because of the stigma that goes with it.
Yeah,
and all the rules.
I don't care about
It
it. I
don't
just
make
talked
me
to a
either.
listing agent earlier. She says that she doesn't care. I think the money spends. A lot of FHA does have a negative connotation because people put it out there like that. But I always explain to my sellers like, yeah, we can accept conventional or FHA as long as we can
These
pass
things,
that.
yeah. And that's all I'm
What's-
saying is that go into it. Even on refinances, I go out and I go, I should have never been here. I got one, the garage was collapsing in. I'm like, why am I here? You know what I mean? It's
Right.
like, did the lenders walk them through this list?
It's
Right.
negative to the
We-
people who don't want to fix their house up to FHA's
Standard.
standard.
Yeah, so
But
not
we have clients when we meet with them, we say, here's a checklist. Your house is not bad. You got maybe $2,000 in improvements, right?
Mhm.
And they're like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. And then it's like, it's either that or we wait a month and a half for them to do those 2,000 repairs, or we put it on the market and see what offers come.
I get it.
And then that motivates them, okay, let me get this done before the appraiser come out.
But I
But
give you
then
that.
sometime they're like, oh, the appraiser's coming on Thursday, and they're like, Wednesday night, what time he coming, right? So sometimes it's the individual, it's not the agents. We're actually
Trying
like
to
we
push
got a
for it.
checklist,
Yeah.
right?
yeah.
We've been through it, and we're like, hey,
But
do this,
You're
you
a
can
good
get
guy
more
on
money.
in that regard.
Right.
There's some people, they don't give a doggone.
Yeah.
We got
Okay. Well, y'all, I guess that was a good talk. It's a wrap.
All right.
Well,